my mom today. It was interesting watching
awesome.
her like doing like back to school shopping with my kids.
God, I love school supplies so fucking much.
Well, we didn't even really do school supplies today, but we did look at them. But we did like backpacks and lunch boxes and
it's tax-free weekend.
I don't.
Or it is in Arkansas.
Maybe it was. I think
it
that's
is
just
in
in Arkansas. I don't think it is here. I think in Louisiana several years ago gave away their school tax-free weekend, and now all we have is a hunting tax-free weekend. You can buy ATVs and guns and ammo twice actually in every calendar year.
But
at
not
a
your
discounted
school supplies.
Not your school supplies anymore. I don't think we do that anymore. Okay, that was interesting. But what I was just looking at, and I wanted to get into this, is I clicked to look at the narrator, but then I noticed that Audible has this book listed. We're talking about Blood Canticle tonight.
Right.
It's got this book listed as the, here, I've got to click into the book itself. It's marked as book 10 of the Vampire Chronicles and book 6 of Lives of the Mayfair Witches. And I was like, that's interesting. How many books what books do they have in Lives of the Mayfair Witches? There are the 3 in the trilogy, The Witching Hour, Lasher, and Taltos. They mark Merrick as Lives of the Mayfair Witches. They mark Blackwood Farm and Blood Canticle. All of those are in those last 3, Merrick, Blackwood Farm, and Blood Canticle, are the quote-unquote crossover books. And I mean, I knew that we knew that, but I didn't realize that they actually listed them as part of both series. Makes sense, of course, but strange.
I think it's strange that, so I'm listening to it through Libby, through like through a library, app, and it's so strange because the narrator doesn't match what the narrator on the cover of the book says it's supposed to be.
Oh, really? It's like you've got a different recording of it somehow.
Yeah.
Probably for rights reasons.
Right. And the same thing happened. I was listening to the Hunger Games series a few weeks ago, like audiobook, and I was like, God, man, this narrator sucks. Like, you think that these books were really popular. Like, you'd think they'd have somebody really good. This is weird. It was just not very good. Well, I was listening to it on Libby. When I went and listened to it on Audible, it's fucking the gal from She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany, and she's fantastic. And all 3 of those books are so good being read by her. It was not great by the other narrator.
That's fascinating. Okay. Do you remember, was it only in America? Did you ever listen to the Harry Potter books?
No, not when they were first coming out. I've listened to them like more recently.
Okay.
So I've listened to them like probably like 10 years ago.
Stephen Fry does a very famous version of them that everybody talks about, and that's the one that I think about in my head. But I realized, and I don't know, I realized this, I guess, several years ago when maybe our daughters started to read the first one or something. Mm-hmm. But Jim Dale also does.
Yeah. Those are the ones that I've heard, are the Jim Dale ones.
Man, and Jim Dale is like, I didn't connect him with all the things that I like that he is a part of my life. It's interesting. You and I talked about, we were supposed to record Friday night and we didn't because I was going out with some college buddies.
Oh my gosh.
But one of the many things that came up last night is Richard Bennett and I were discussing, I mean, I've literally named my oldest son, his last name is my oldest son's middle name. Richard, though, and I were talking about the first time that we connected the slave selling character in the movie Spartacus with Prince John from the Disney Robin Hood movie, and what like a world that opened up to us for like other British actors and the various things they did. So like Jim Dale to me is the huckster salesman from Pete's Dragon. When I think of Jim Dale, that's what I think of. He's the Passamaquoddy, Passamahoosey, Passamawatsy, Passamaquoddy. Yeah, he's that guy.
Oh, Pete's Dragon.
His money by the pound. Listen, Pete's Dragon is so underappreciated. This is not a Disney podcast, though.
It's
genuinely have to get to the topic at hand. I'm sorry, I got far afield. I was just thinking, though, about narrators, and you were talking about the various ones. The Stephen Fry, Jim Dale thing. Okay, so Jim Dale apparently narrated the books for the U.S. market. Stephen Fry narrated for the U.K. versions, but both narrators were highly praised. Maybe I had bootleg versions of the Stephen Fry readings that I listened to first, maybe before I had
Maybe
any
you
money.
did.
I
Maybe
don't
you
know.
did. Look, the internet was a wild place.
It really was. I was trying to explain this to my sons. I was like, everybody stole everything for a while because none of the companies knew how to sell it to us. Yet we all knew how to get it on the internet, and we wanted to watch it and listen to it and have it, you know.
It really pissed a lot of people off. It pissed Metallica right off. They were really mad.
Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal Universe, The Vampire Chronicles, Lives of the Mayfair Witches, and the Immortal Universe TV series from AMC and AMC+. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join.
Hello and welcome to the Articulate Coven. We are the unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal Universe, including and especially her Vampire Chronicles and Mayfair Witches books and the adaptations thereof for AMC and AMC+. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We so much appreciate you. And it has been so much fun the last few weeks watching you all react to our reactions and watching everybody froth at the mouth about season 3 of Interview with the Vampire. Now the Vampire Lestat coming so soon as time marches on. I will say,
I think I've heard April.
Okay, one of the interviews that I did the other day, and I didn't say it in the moment when I was watching and reacting, but one of the interviews that I reacted to the other day, I realized it when I'm editing it. Sam says he's responding to someone else that he felt like Rollin, I think, gives something away or says something that Sam considers a spoiler.
I think it was, because then
that Akasha
Bogosian,
in the first episode we know that Akasha's in it or something like that, and maybe she doesn't appear, but literally what I speculated is, what if we get I bet you're wondering how I got here sort of opening to this season, and it might be, the whole thing might be Lestat telling us the story from the back end, which is how the book works, right? Like he's awoken and arisen, but already when he's telling the story, he's gone through the Queen of the Damned, I think.
It's already making me want to reread that book. Like I'm already ready to reread The Vampire Lestat. Okay,
I genuinely, we're gonna have to do it again. I think we've done it already. We even broke it down in several episodes. Yeah, but I think we might have to revisit it because it is going to be really important to see how the book itself winds up. And I do think we're going to get so much of that book in this upcoming series.
Yeah,
it's just so exciting. But that stirred up a lot of interest in the show. And hey, to everybody that's just joined us for the first time, or that's finally joined the Facebook group, or finally started watching us on YouTube or whatever. I've seen a bunch of those sorts of messages. I've been listening for years, but now I'm finally commenting for the first time or something. So welcome aboard, and hi everybody.
We're happy to have you
tonight
here.
We're going to be starting our read of Blood Canticle, which, as I mentioned at the beginning, is not only the 10th book in the Vampire Chronicles, but it is also the 6th book in the Lives of the Mayfair Witches.
Sneaky way to get some books in both series.
You're right. There's 2 pieces of feedback that I wanted to say, that I wanted to get to specifically, because these are really more about Blackwood Farm, and we didn't get to do these when those episodes were dropping. So first of all, from Elaine W., I think both of these actually were on Spotify, which I don't get over to Spotify to look at the comments all the time, but
I forget that we're there.
Thanks to everybody who comments there. Elaine says, do you know how sometimes when you're only half listening to something, you catch a phrase completely out of context? Well, I've never read the book you're covering, and as I was listening while at work, I was not really paying attention when I randomly heard the phrase, my ghost friend gave me a hand job in the shower earlier. I'm bisexual now.
We were just really wanting to break that scene down for everyone.
It is bizarre how many people commented some variation of, I've read this book 3 times and I forgot about the shower scene or the way Quinn is turned or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of that book that slipped people's minds, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how or why that should have stuck with us. That's like right up there with Lestat and the tampon and the,
I'm genuinely on the list of crazy things that happens in
I
these
can't
books.
believe that didn't stick in my mind.
I mean, vampiric baptism by blowjob is a weird way to go, man. Like that's a weird one to leave off the list. Darn you SEO, or I'd use that as the title of the episode. Okay, so this comes from Mad Girl, also on Spotify, and also in response to Blackwood Farm. I am one of those who absorbed my twin. I had no idea that that's in this book. And when I heard you explain it, I was gobsmacked. And yes, they can stick around energetically and have to be turned to the light. I think Anne Rice knew someone with this experience. I reckon there's a lot more of us around than are known. It's not something that's easy to talk about casually.
No.
And then they used the ghost emoji. Thankfully, mine was not goblin, which is just perfect.
See, it's fascinating. And it's very taboo subject. And of course, like, it's a child loss. Like, that's not something you want to discuss casually at all, but it is interesting.
Okay. That just reminded me, by the way, that there are 2 or 3 comments on YouTube that I wanted to mention here in case you specifically, Ashley, didn't see them. There's a bunch. Okay, but this one comes on, first of all, from our last episode, I had cut a short where somebody had made the comment, we've had straight and normal before. We don't need it again. Holly Van Wy commented on this and said, I understand that Anne also liked Bon Jovi, whose voice had a wonderful raw quality to it. I picture Lestat as a composite of several greats, but magnified to the nth degree. I heard several variations on this comment. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to mention it. Somebody had said something like, no, Anne said that Jim Morrison was her version of Lestat. And yeah, y'all, Anne said that Stephen Amell was the perfect Lestat. Anne said that Matthew Good, I think Matthew Good was her version of Louis at one point. Anyway, she named a lot of people. It was mostly what she was watching or listening to at the current moment.
Whatever. Yeah.
She was very easily swept away in the moment by the art that she was watching. And I genuinely think it's one of the reasons why her descriptions are so fascinating and why we're all so impressed and in love with her art form is because she was, in fact, impacted by every artist that she found really with any value.
She lets Lestat like convey that, he'll literally talk about like, this is the shit I'm interested in right now, like this is the stuff I'm listening to, like just in his casual rants to start his novels.
This one was even better, I thought, though. This comes from Oliver Rivers, I think, on YouTube. I've seen barely any comments on this as we all hype up Joel constantly. Ashley, you're so stunning, but look gorgeous with your hair down.
Oh,
you really
thank
did.
you.
You make a comment in the video last week about you had your makeup really done up or something.
Oh no, I was I'd like overdone shit, but I had my hair down, which I never do, and it was just because really it annoys me, but it is a mane of madness. Thank you. Mwah. That's very sweet.
I replied, I said, yes, someone else said it on Facebook, I think, but yes, she's a knockout.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Okay. And then in response to one of my videos about the various San Diego Comic-Con interviews, which, by the way, all of you have watched those. Ashley and I have sort of been denying ourselves because we're eking them out one by one. As a matter of fact, tonight, I may get Ashley to record a couple of reactions with me, and we may get those up for you in the next few days. But someone commented on let's see, which one is this? This was my live stream where I did I accidentally did a live stream, Ashley. I got on one night.
I saw, we were on YouTube and I was like, I think Joel's live right now. So we stopped and we were like, look at Joel go. He just was like, fuck it, I'm going live.
What had happened was you and I had just done the live stream like the last time that we had recorded, and the studio has those settings, and I hadn't double checked the box because we don't go live very often. So it was just on, and I started recording, and then all of a sudden I got comments, and I was like, what? What's happening? Comment? What is happening? And I finally put 2 and 2 together and was like, oh, okay, well, I'm live.
You were like,
anyway,
Goblin?
At some point they started passing out the interviewer. I think this was the Entertainment Weekly interview, but the interviewer passed out tweets for people, or X's or whatever, for people to like read and react to, which was very funny because she really set up Mark Johnson to fumble by giving him something about Chapel Roan, and he could not pronounce her name and clearly had never heard of this woman.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but
get with
I made the comment. I was like, why are all the journalists still on X? Why do they use this platform, which has become such a cesspool? And like in the Facebook group this week, somebody was talking about how insane the fandom is on X in a bad way. There's been like, I literally saw something the other day, and I don't know the details, so I don't want to really get into it, but somebody apparently swatted another fan and like called in that they were threatening Jacob and were gonna attack Sam at a live event or something, and this person wasn't even at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, yeah, it was not. Anyway, it was but this person like literally had their daytime life affected because some other fan said some crazy shit. You know, there was a discussion today about like fanfic porn of the actors, not just the characters,
that's gross, y'all. That's gross.
Come on now. Anyway, we're not going to have any of that.
Some things are for inside your head. Not everything.
Yeah, you can just think it, man. Yeah.
You think what you want to think, but not everything needs to be out loud.
Yeah, not at all, dude. Okay. Anyway, this was part of that, and I made the comment, like, what are we doing as journalists or as people in the fandom, people like us, people that have a podcast? What are you doing over there? I do understand it sucks because there's a handful of people on Blue Sky, and there's a handful of people on Threads, and a handful of people on Mastodon, whatever the hell that is. And it's I use
X, literally Twitter. I can't call it X. I just can't do it. I literally bile. Please. It's the only, like I said, Twitter's the only thing I'll dead name.
I call it X specifically because I have affinity for Twitter. Twitter died.
That's like true.
4 years ago, whatever.
A terrible death. I don't use it. I don't use it for any sort of like communication. You won't find, like, I'm not active on there like that. I use it for breaking news. Literally, like if I hear something is happening in the world, then I can go there and get like quick breaking news because all the news outlets still tweet immediately.
That's my pisser. That's why I'm like, no,
but you can't linger
media,
there. You got to get there and then get a link and go back to the fucking real websites.
But if they all migrated, if they just said, we're not going to fuck with this. We're not wading in the river of shit actually anymore. And we're not going to make people like Ashley hang around. And it's not just you, like a lot of our fandom stays on X because they wanted to respond to all the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. They wanted to see it live tweeted, and where else is it going to be posted? Moment to moment. Yeah. Threads is getting better at that, but it's just, they just don't have the critical numbers yet. And I do think with the breakup, all these places are sort of segregated in the kinds of interests that went to the different platforms, right? So it's like, I don't know, sports and journalists, I think, are the main two people that are driving any further attention to X, and I wish they'd go elsewhere so that I'd go wherever else you want me to go.
I know.
You want me to mostly be on Blue Sky? I'd be there, but anyway, pick one.
Yeah.
This person, Nicole Radiant Baby, Nicole M Radiant Baby commented and said, I deleted my personal account on X sometime last year when the alt-right stuff on there started to get really scary.
You can't.
I left my old
comments.
podcast app. No, man, you can't. I left my old podcast account up there, though, in case anyone needed it for reference. But when I checked that a few months ago, not long after the inauguration, that account had been suspended, probably because it was a Doctor Who podcast from a queer perspective that was like in their bio. and X had flagged and suspended anything LGBTQA plus. So yeah, not going back.
Trash. Absolute trash.
Dude, it sucks. Anyway, if you're still there, I'm sure you got your reasons, but I'm saying if you're in an industry and you're there for your industry,
leave for the good of the rest of us.
Well, you need to be advocating in those spaces that we got to migrate. Like we have to be leaders, and we have to help our colleagues migrate. Right? Think about, this is a bad way, but there is apparently a rumor that the Stephen Colbert cancellation was like the beginnings of dominoes, and like the political thing was like one maybe benefit of it, that you maybe Trump will like you better if we do this. But the real reason was none of the networks want those shows anymore because they're expensive and the ratings are dropping continuously, and they all want to clear the deck. But it's like all of them felt bad being the first one. So who's going to step up and take the PR bullet? But now it will be infinitely easier for them to cancel the Tonight Show or Jimmy Kimmel or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like Jimmy Kimmel, I think, has the least history. At least the Tonight Show and Late Show are like a few decades old, and the Tonight Show is almost 100 years old at this point.
Right.
But anyway, y'all, if you're on X, get with your colleagues and try to figure something else out so I can get all the news, not just secondhand through the Facebook group. Genuinely, this is a very selfish request, but also
it is. It's fair.
Do us all a favor.
Request.
All right. Ashley, I have open in front of me the beginning of this book because I'm going to quote directly from it, which I don't do very often. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee to judgment. Ecclesiastes 11:9, King James Version. Ashley, when she quotes King James instead of Stan Rice to start a book, you know we are in the dark period.
We are in for it.
This series.
We are in for it. I started reading this book physically. I started reading it on my Kindle. So that's how I started it. And I was laughing my ass off at this like tirade Lestat goes into there at the beginning. I just cannot. It's so funny. Well, then I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to have time to sit and read. I'm going to have to do some audiobook and multitasking. So then I popped the audiobook on and I listened to that whole section again. And I just felt like he was yelling at me. I was like, I'm in trouble. I feel like I'm in trouble. And I loved Memnock. Don, don't yell at me. I'm the good one. I'm the good fan.
Right? Now, see, I looked it up earlier, and then I don't think I mentioned his name, and now I've got to go look it up again. The guy who narrated this one is the same guy that narrated Blackwood Farm, and while I thought his voice was interesting for Quinn's narration in the last book, it was very off-putting to me here as Lestat. David Pitou is his name. I will say his Lestat accent is not bad. He pulls that off pretty nicely. Much better than that last book from Eric Shaw Quinn. God bless him. He does not give Lestat's French a try, and we are all the lesser for it. Simon Vance does so many of these books, y'all, and Simon Vance is the king. There's like 4 narrators that are in charge of the world, and Simon Vance is one of them. And when you've got him for most of your books, it's a real letdown when anybody else does the voice of your favorite character. Yeah,
it's a hard transition.
This opening, though, is just unhinged, Ashley. So Lestat does this in every book. And I honestly, in a book like this, I genuinely ask myself, did Anne think anybody was starting here? Did Anne genuinely think anybody was going to pick this book up first? This
is a weird place to start.
It's not even the start of this story. This story picks up in media res.
Okay.
Never mind that we've got 200 years of backstory already.
I read Mayfair out of order, and that was insane. So I can't really talk. I read Taltos first, which is the most unhinged
Jesus.
shit. I know.
Jesus.
I was like, what has happened here? What have these people done?
I thought you were saying that you started in the bathtub with Mona in Lasher, and that would not be a terrible place to start, honestly, because then it's like you come into the story with a character of our age, effectively, and then follow on with this terrible backstory that she's having to inherit, and then you get to go find the files, et cetera, et cetera. But like Taltos is. Y'all, I mean, Taltos is like starting with Realms of Atlantis for the Vampire Chronicles or something.
It's not normal. I do things out of order sometimes. It's fine.
Oh, goodness. Okay. But genuinely, I don't this is so strange to me. She even says at one point in Lestat's voice, "You drop notes off at my door. Lestat, speak to us again. We want another book." And you're like, bitch, you're just writing this straight at us, huh? You coming hard. Like, you're tired of the shit. When is Lestat coming back? You're tired of answering that at book signings, aren't you?
Well, write the damn book.
She did. She's like, oh, you want me?
Here
I am. I want to be a saint.
He's so fucking nuts.
I want to save souls far and wide. I want a physical statue of me in every church, blonde hair, blue-eyed, 6 feet tall. I'm like, buddy Lestat in the front of the congregation,
God.
huh? Okay.
Bless us all. Bless us all, Saint Lestat.
Okay. I read sometime in this past spring, I read Anne's spiritual book, a spiritual biography. It's called Called Out of Darkness. And she wrote that right after this time, not too long after this time, while she was writing the angel books, and she'd written the 2 Jesus books. And honestly, by the way, I think the Jesus books are both very underappreciated works from her. They're both excellent narratives. She gives real spirit to the stories. I personally have not read the angel books, but I know they've got a lot of fans too. This is such a weird one because she's already there mentally and emotionally and spiritually. She is in this other place, and yet she or her editors or her contract, I don't know, but it's like I gotta speak through Lestat to say it, and it does not ring true to me. Especially this opening, it is just Anne's voice, not Lestat's, is what it feels like to me.
I mean, I felt like I was getting scolded. Like I felt personally attacked. In a way I did not when I was reading it, like reading it along my peaceful, quiet, silent reading. No, he yelled at me for a good 12 minutes.
Sure, you bought Memnoch the Devil, but did you embrace it? Did you understand it? Did you read it twice? Did you believe it? And Ashley, I'm with you. I'm like, yeah, I did. I had an existential crisis for a year about maybe Jesus was a vampire. Yeah, Anne.
You really got Joel.
I'm just saying, don't yell at me, woman.
I went on the journey. I reviewed that book for my school newspaper. Come on.
Oh, God. Okay. It's so weird because we do not get this sort of moaning from her or from him about the fan reaction to Realms of Atlantis. Like when that book came out, people were like, what the shit are you doing, Anne? And then she wrote another one.
Are you on the pills, Anne? Are you on the pills?
And Blood Communion is pretty much universally loved in the fandom, and there's none of this negativity in that. It's just so strange. It's so strange that she starts the book this way. It is also weird to me that she says at one point, again, in Lestat's voice, actually, I don't really want to write anything that can't be put on a t-shirt.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. There's just so many little jabs in there that are just hilarious. And he's just, it is just an unhinged rant. Like he's just going from subject to subject madly. Like he is very manic. It's got a real manic feeling to it.
He says, he's playing things out in his mind. I'm shuffling along Pirate's Alley, a bum covered with morally imperative dust. Like Jesus, you, all right, Hamlet. And then he envisions a scenario, Ashley, where he visits the ailing at this time Pope John Paul II.
John Paul.
Okay. I freaked out for a minute realizing that Pope John Paul was still alive in 2000, 2001 when she's writing this.
We have run through some popes.
Right? I was like, man, it felt like, first of all, it felt like to me anyway, that Francis was Pope for a long time. But we also had Benedict for
who was the quitter?
Most of a decade. Benedict was the quitter. Yeah, he retired.
I respect that.
I think he was, I honestly think they all should. If I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially the way that he's done it. It's not like it hasn't caused any sort of schism in the church or anything. That was the fear, is like, is there going to be a secret pope that's leading a band, elsewhere or something? That hadn't been a problem. They're old men. They want to be retired and, live in their garden and not have to wave every day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wear their house shoes, not have to put on all that frock. That's so much frock.
I love though that he's like, yeah, I'm just going to show up and have this dialogue with Pope John Paul II. Talk to him about techno saints are going to rise soon if they haven't already. It is so interesting to me, and what I immediately finally said, and I brought this out of it in a positive way. I really wish we could get Anne's take on modern televangelists is what I want to say, but they're not anymore, right? It's like internet delivery of messages and influencers for God or whatever, you want to call them or whatever. But
TikTok
I think
preachers.
she would be, yes, I think she would be fascinated and repulsed and have a lot to say about it, honestly.
Well, I mean, I think she felt like religion was so complex that to take something so intricate, complex, so entwined with your soul on so many levels, and to burn it down into a 10-second to slap a slogan on a t-shirt is a little beneath her,
Boy, she makes another interesting prediction through Lestat. As for sexuality, the revolution in this regard is so vast that we of this time cannot begin to comprehend its full ramifications. We are dizzy with mere beginnings. Okay, that is a pretty perfect encapsulation, I think, of what has happened in this current moment, especially and I don't just want to put it off on them, but the boomer generation especially, and some older Gen Xers maybe, with the trans issue.
Right.
That you hear even from the leftists now, some liberals
general
are beginning to
gender
say,
expression,
don't push too hard. Why do we all have to say everything out loud, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And you're
that's the shit you have to say out loud, not the other shit.
Yeah, but also did we learn nothing? That it's only united can we move forward, right? It's like if we let them divide us up into the black movement and the gay movement and the workers movement and it's like, no, friends. It is the bosses versus everybody else.
Right.
And y'all need to stop pretending that a trans issue is not your issue, buddy. Because they're coming for us all. Anyway, I do like her hope there, even to the face of John Paul II, right? Who was not great on any of these issues.
No, please.
Especially, it strikes me as darkly ironic that she shows so much reverence for John Paul here through the eyes of Lestat, when we know now, 20 years hence, that John Paul was responsible for so much of the child abuse that she left the church over eventually. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't abusing children, excuse me, no.
Well,
but covering up and moving priests and allowing it to continue falls at his feet, it turns out, pretty directly. And Benedict's as well is very, very much at charge
it's
for
all
that
fucking
in retrospect.
Gross.
Yeah, a friend of mine in college was a cop, and he told me one time about something that I got in trouble for, is it's not going to be a real issue because it's the fruit of the rotten tree. That's the way that he described it, legally speaking. But that is, I think that was Anne's problem eventually with the church, is I don't know how we can purify what has been molded around this rot,
Yeah.
And I don't know how to fix that. So I'm just going to peace out on it. But again, with that context, it's so weird to read her in this religious swoon that we're seeing here. It's also strange that he goes through all of that, and then he's like, let me tell you about when I turned the witch into a vampire.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. It's like this just doesn't slide into the story quite as smoothly as some of the transitions usually do. These opening where we've been, Lestat starts us off. Usually they transition in a way into the story that makes sense. This is just so random.
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that maybe he's literally saving souls on a 1-to-1 basis here. He's like, Quinn would be lost without Mona. Mona deserves so much more than this tragic life that she's been given. She's old enough to make the choice, unlike Claudia. I can redeem,
Right.
I can redeem 7 birds with this one vial of blood.
With this one witch.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like that it backs up and we get the end of Blackwood Farm, which we talked about last time was so abbreviated. It's like, oh, and then I turned Mona. Happy ever after.
Well, it's like that book, just like 30 pages to end it. And it was just like, what the fuck happened?
But here he backs up and we get it from Lestat's point of view now as he goes through how all of that happened. And like Quinn was going to do it and he put Quinn off. No, I'm going to do it because it'll make her stronger, but also you'll stay connected.
Then you can talk, you can hang out.
Okay.
She might not hate you.
Anne and Lestat are both pretty caustic, it feels like, in the way that they write off the separation between Merrick and Mona. Merrick is dead at this point now, but I mean, he basically says they didn't know each other. She was white, she was black. Don't even worry about it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, but you loved Merrick like 15 minutes ago.
Literally 15 minutes ago.
Like, why? We're just not going to talk about her at all anymore. And
gotta move on, Joel.
Strange.
The young ones die early. These that ask for it, the ones that ask for it, I was ready for her to die. Knew she was gonna.
Boy, yeah, it is a little, again, that's just a little harsh the way that she puts it. I mean, I do understand that the way that she's built this world, that's true, but it's just, it feels very cold here.
Yeah.
Okay, the cool thing that we get here is that Lestat reads Mona's mind while he's drinking from her and draining her, and he basically gets the whole download. He gets all of the Mayfair books, except for he can't quite put together the Taltos thing. He understands that it's a monstrous birth. Yeah, right. He's like, it's a monstrous birth. I don't know though what's the deal? I can't quite. Why is it so traumatic? What happened about her labor? Why did that basically kill her? Et cetera, et cetera. And he can't put it together here at first. He also, it comes out here. He doesn't much like that Quinn is 4 inches taller than me, but that doesn't matter.
My God.
No. It clearly does matter. You said so. And again, I think this is a perfect example of how Anne genuinely really does channel the characters' voices, because like there's no plot reason for that. It's never followed up on. Lestat does not actually display a jealousy towards Quinn. He's got like a protective nature. Look, Quinn's not on his level, and Lestat never thinks that.
He's
so
a
why
child.
would he be petty? Why would he be petty about the 4 inches? It's because Lestat would be petty about the 4 inches. So
he's a petty bitch.
I mention it here in this book. She just gets him. She gets him, and the consistency of character is magic. It literally feels magic in the same way that we talk about Sam portraying him on screen in that, in a magical transformational way.
Yeah. So it is a true command of a character's voice.
It occurred to me here as Mona is changed that she may be the most informed person who chooses vampirism in the books.
Right?
Like, she knows what it will be. She understands through her witchy powers and through her psychic abilities.
Right.
And also because
she's been hanging out
supernatural.
And she's been hanging out with Talamasca.
That's
right. I mean, like,
that's like, she knows what she's signing up for, and she doesn't even. The only argument I can think of anyway right now that would be Magnus, maybe, right? Like, he was an alchemist and he had studied it and he stole it on purpose or whatever.
Right.
But until then, and until maybe Rowan, which we think later in this book, Mona's the one that knows more than anybody what she's signing up for here, and it's interesting to see that play out.
Yeah.
Lestat hears when he feeds from her again, he hears the word Morrigan. He hears the name Morrigan in the blood, and he hears the word Taltos finally, and he begins to piece it together a little bit, but he still is sort of unclear about exactly what all has happened. It's also interesting to me how that's not like the burning, like he doesn't immediately pull back and be like, hey lady, what's happening with this monster baby? Yeah, tell me about that for a minute, because it feels like there may be another supernatural race that I should know about.
A whole story there that we should hear about. Maybe someone should write a book about it.
You're right. Or several books.
Several.
6 in the end when all is said and
When it's
done.
all said and done.
Okay, Uncle Julian attacks Lestat physically. He pulls himself together and fights this vampire.
Really liked this. I thought this was fun.
I did too. It's so interesting to me though, because it shows you what a powerful spirit Julian is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like what we're seeing in the Mayfair show, which is just not a good adaptation. But
right.
This does give them license, I would say, to do just about damn near anything with Julian. You know, in the spirit world. He's super powerful here compared to every other spirit we've met.
And it has nothing to do with Lasher. Like, it's got nothing at this point, you know,
or
Lasher's
his home or where his bones are.
No, nothing to do. Nothing to do. Of course that asshole won't leave.
When Mona is turned, Julian weeps and he lets Lestat see it, which I thought was interesting. You know, he doesn't have to be physically there. He doesn't have to show Lestat, but it's like,
yeah.
First of all, he is genuinely sad about the loss of his family legacy, I think. Although it's not like Mona was going to leave. If Mona wasn't turned, I understand him getting, like he's angry. He's angry later in this section about Lestat's interactions with Rowan, and he fights him again about Rowan, but it's like, that makes sense. This isn't going anywhere. Mona is a tragic dead end already for the family. I don't know what to tell you, Julian.
Yeah, she wasn't.
I'm not sure why you're
she's
mad.
already had a hysterectomy. They've already pulled out all of her bits. You know, like
she can't. When they come to find her, they wait because they assume she's dead already. Yeah. And they were like, "There's no rush.
We're not gonna rush over there."
Yeah, we'll get there and collect the body, but like we don't need to go fight them for her to die in the car.
Right.
You know. Okay, Lestat finishes making Mona, and he says, "I lay amongst the flowers, and there were no thorns on the roses," which is just like, God damn, this woman can write a word. Also, I thought it was interesting that he sort of gives an Ophelia image there, which is Mona's thing, obviously. Yeah, so right here, my next note is the Mayfairs arrive. That's when they were taking their time. They thought that's why they were taking their time. They thought she was already dead, and they were right. She was.
Yep, she did.
Yeah,
she did.
Okay, Rowan and Lestat have a standoff, and just like Merrick, she throws some hoodoo at him and tries to seduce him, like Merrick did with Lestat with Louis and David in the previous book.
I also just love his fucking audacity, like. Is this the section where he's like, he doesn't even have his sunglasses on? He's like, is that right? Is that the same section?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
It's like,
yeah,
he's like
she
not.
sees his eyes.
I'm like, dude, like that's a fucking witch.
And not just a witch, but like with Mona theoretically off the table now with some of her witchy psychic abilities since she's got the blood in her.
Right.
Because
potentially
we don't know
losing
at this point
it.
how that works. Rowan's probably the most powerful witch on the planet at this point in these books, right? Yeah.
Right. And she doesn't really have time for your bullshit. She's tired.
Don't even worry about it. Mona's upstairs. She's fine.
Yeah,
She'll be fine.
She's fine. She's fine.
We'll call you later. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. She's cool. She's cool. She's not dead. Are you sure she's not dead? Because she should be very dead.
So it comes out, though, Lestat gets a glimpse from Rowan that Rowan thought about and was almost going to do it, was going to kill Mona with her mind to ease her pain. Which is interesting because in the modern context, I immediately went to the thing from The Last Jedi where Mark Hamill is maybe going to kill Ben but didn't. Yeah, I'm like, Rowan had a moment. She's like, I don't know, should I put her out of her misery? I mean, we've talked about this in different contexts on the show before. Like, I am in support of euthanasia laws in this paranormal world. If I'm Rowan, I don't think that killing my niece is where I'm going right away, but I do understand why she would have such a moment, but she felt terrible about it. It's clear in the books, like Rowan is here now and she didn't race to get Mona back because she wanted to let her die in peace.
Let her
have
her have the death she chooses, for Christ's sake. She's not gotten to choose anything in a really long time.
It is bizarre to me, though, that they leave, like Rowan leaves Mona without seeing her at this point. And I'm just like,
I'm not
that's hard
buying
for me to take.
I'm not buying that vampire's bullshit. Like, everything's not cool. She's either dead or she's a vampire.
Yeah, and either way, we probably need to know it. But yeah, I cannot imagine Rowan. And listen, I know there's going to be a lot of complaints about Rowan as we go through this book, I think, eventually. But this is one of my biggest ones right here off the bat. This Rowan is passive in a way that previous Rowan had not been, and that TV show Rowan often is.
Yeah. This Rowan seems tired to me. This Rowan is like, shit, man, it's been a fucking weird couple of years, and I'm like, whiskey voiced and exhausted.
This is like an 8th-year president who's like, I don't know, man. I don't have to run for this shit again.
We're pretty well. Let's just run the clock out, shall we?
We're gonna take personal time in the morning, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody,
I'm gonna sleep till 10.
Quiet.
Nothing till double digits. Nothing till double digits.
There's a funny moment where Lestat says, there's a woman who I think this one is a nurse that was taking care of Queen, maybe, or taking care of Mona. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Cindy. Actually, this lovely lady spells her name Cyndy, so we will start spelling it this way from here on. And again, this is such a cute fucking. You're like, if Anne had an editor, they wouldn't let her leave that in. Like, that's a waste of paper.
Right.
Why don't we just spell it right from the start, Anne, and
Trim
not mention it?
Why'd you spell it wrong to start with? Now that you know, you had to write it. It wasn't real. It wasn't real until you thought it.
He got corrected, and then so he's going to spell it that way from now on. It's so funny to me.
Like, Lestat also has no editor, clearly.
No. I genuinely would not be surprised if Christopher told us, sometimes her eyes would roll back in her head and she would write spirit writing. I'd be like, yeah, that makes total fucking sense, dude.
At least twice a week.
So Julian remains, though. Rowan's gone now. Mona has turned, and Julian is just going to haunt the fuck out of Lestat, actually, now. He's like, I got all the eternity, buddy.
I had nothing to do. Nothing to do, and a grudge. Let's go.
My mom, they had screwed up her Social Security check or retirement or check or something. It was late for some reason one week, and she and I was asking her, was it a problem or whatever? She said, it's not a problem. I'm retired. I'll make this my whole job to bother those people all day long, every day.
Mm-hmm. That is now my 9 to 5, because that's how long the office there is open.
That's what Julian says about Lestat now. He's like, you all I got on my mind, actually. this what we're gonna do. Let's dance.
Here we go. Let's play. Which
Mona,
I love. I like the two of these as adversaries. Like,
I do
seem
too.
to be like worthy adversaries.
Yeah, absolutely. It also, again, it makes me think, okay, there's salvageable parts of that Mayfair series if they really do a refresh and like go away for a moment and circle back a little bit later in these vampire stories.
Yeah.
There's things you could do that would be interesting. I like, very frankly, seeing Harry Hamlin with some good writing confronting Lestat as the spirit of Julian. I could maybe get into that, actually. We're not there yet, though. We're not there yet.
He may be dead before we get there, Golf.
Yeah, indeed. Mona tells, so Lestat mentions Julian to Mona, and Mona says Uncle Julian is in the light. He doesn't come to Earth unless there's a really important reason. Mona tells him that it wasn't Julian. Julian wouldn't come back unless there's a really important reason, which Lestat's like, uh-oh.
The fuck? Either that's not who he said he was, or there's something important that we don't know about.
Okay, so they get back to New Orleans, and Lestat discovers that there are quite a few idiot vampires.
Fucking rogue vampires dicking around in New Orleans. I love that they have to come clean the trash up. It's so funny.
He says, I've made myself too domestic for you, Quinn. You forget who I am. And maybe I did too. And I'm like, well, now, okay, yes,
Meat's
no more
back
of that
on the
saint
menu,
business.
boys.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. He's talking about saints. Lestat says that Juan Diego, a humble Indian, or an indigenous person, as a headline had it. And again, I love it's like Anne discovering proper language.
Right. Oh,
Well, indigenous person.
this
How
is the preferred
novel.
nomenclature.
Chinaman's not the preferred
Not the
nomenclature.
preferred
dude.
nomenclature.
I said that the other day, and my sons have now both seen The Big Lebowski, but I said it, and one of them didn't catch the thing, and he's like, "I didn't say he was a Chinaman." I'm like, I know you didn't.
I know.
You didn't. I'm sorry. It's a reference.
We just watched that the other night. I was like, "Do you want to watch The Big Lebowski?"
It's my comfort. I
God,
watch that when I'm really, really down.
It's so
Honestly,
good.
it can't help but pick me up.
Mm.
All right. Speaking of that, though, for a moment, I do want to say this because I'll forget it later. If you all have not seen or haven't seen it in a while, Boardwalk Empire from HBO. It's on HBO Max. You can stream it. I bought it, though, a while back. It was on sale for like $20 for the series. Steve Buscemi is so fucking amazing in it.
I've never watched it.
He's so good. It literally starts the night that Prohibition goes into effect. That's the first episode, is like New Year's Eve, 1920 or whatever. But
Bummer.
Enoch Thompson is the guy that Steve Buscemi plays, and he's like the head boss of the political machine in Atlantic City. And the series plays out over the course of Prohibition, basically.
Mhm.
And it's just fascinating in a million ways. There's really great music if you like jazz, that like is a continually running theme in the show. But also if you're into gangster shit, like Lucky Luciano's a character, and Meyer Lansky, and Rothstein, Arnold Rothstein.
I do enjoy some gangster shit.
Al Capone is in it, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So like, it's a very, very cool series for all of those reasons. As Immortal Universe fans, if you've thought to yourself, the Mayfair Witches is such a disappointment, go watch it for Jack Houston. Jack Houston plays a character, and I've gotten almost to the end of season 1, and he shows up in like episode 7 or episode 8, I think.
If you want to get pissed all over again about how they misused him.
Genuinely. Like, Richard Harrow is the character's name. He's a war hero. He's had the whole left side of his face basically blown off, and so he's got a mask that he wears almost all the time to cover it up. And he is so touching and so cold and scary at times, but also so sympathetic. And he plays all those levels so beautifully with minimal dialogue.
You mean like how Lasher is supposed to be?
Yes. I mean, I think I'm watching the show. I'm only like 3 episodes deep into his run so far. And I cried today almost, because I'm like, I remember how excited I was when they announced his casting. Yeah. And that was the reason why I remembered him as Richard Harrow. And I thought, this guy is just going to blow our minds and what he can bring to that character. And we just didn't get any of it on the page. Again, it's like, we need to thank our lucky stars for Rowland Jones and team.
Oh, Lord.
We need AMC to back up the money truck to his house for continued seasons moving. And honestly, they need to promote him. He can write some and direct some on this show as it moves forward. But he should just be in charge of the Immortal Universe. Yeah. And maybe he doesn't want that gig, but if he wants it, they ought to give it to him.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing with it.
And he could lead a team to do those same things with the other books if they wanted it done and expand this world out. Okay, we're getting close here. Let's say, all right. Let's just say that Anne makes these 2 rogue vampires plenty hateful so that we can cheer for Quinn and Mona.
We got no problem with everybody getting
them up.
Mm-hmm, yeah. This is not a sympathetic situation. This is not a Pandora doesn't want to kill all the baby vampires.
There's a scene that I just got to. I'm reading the 3rd book of the Dark Tower series currently, The Wastelands, and there's a scene where our heroes get to this town and are attacked by the locals. They like kill the first one pretty badly, and then one of them says, "Gunslingers?" and they're like, "Yes, we're gunslingers." And they're like, "I beg your pardon, gunslingers."
Pardon me.
These vampires they're like, "But for real, Lestat, my bad. I didn't mean to. I'll never kill anybody you don't want me to ever again."
We didn't think you really lived here anymore.
You had books. I wrote you rules. You didn't follow them. Fuck you, actually, very much.
Yeah. Come on now. Don't fuck around in my city. You're going to make a mess and you won't clean up after yourselves. You are not to be trusted.
I love though that they offered, they're like, we'll spread the word that you're real and everybody's actually got to stay out of New Orleans. And he's like, I do that by killing you.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way that it works, actually. Okay. He hears from Julian. The quote is, "You're in our world now. Lestat is pulled into a domain full of ghosts. This is such a cool moment to me."
Yeah.
Julian says, "We're Mayfair's first, and this is Lestat's house. We'll be polite," because one of them is sort of like a little caustic at first. He's like, no. We have him. We don't need to be rude while we have him here for this little tete-a-tete. It's an interesting moment that Julian flexes on him like this. And especially when you think about how powerful Lestat is at this point in the novels. Like, he's...
Right.
Other than Maharet, Cayman, you know, like...
I mean,
that's about it. Makare, you know, like, that's it. That's all we got. And then it's Lestat, pretty much. But no, Julian's just whipping him around in and out of the spiritual realm.
I like somebody being tough enough to fuck with Lestat.
Well, it's the reason why we keep seeing Superman movies where General Zod's the bad guy, right? Like, it's okay. It's fun to have a character who is wish fulfillment in a way that they're a real Mary Sue and can just about do anything. That's awesome. Okay, great. And it is fun that Lestat can fucking fly around the world in an instant. And,
yes, we love it.
He's invulnerable. He can lay out in the sun and he just gets prettier, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
It's tough to come up with good, like,
existential drama for him at that point. Yeah.
And, you know, I love it. It makes me happy.
He fought God and the devil in the most recent adventure that he went through.
What's next? You know? What's next? How's it not going to be a letdown? Well, let me tell you, this ghost is going to throw you through time and space.
How about the most powerful male witch probably in history, who's now not in a corporeal form, so you can't even fuck with his body, actually. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. Ain't no blood.
Basically... He's like a voodoo god almost at this point, you know, like a little G god, Julian is. Okay. I had totally forgotten this happens in this book, at least. And I hate it every time that she does it. Mona calls Lestat boss.
Yeah.
Ashley, I think they're going to have Baby Jinx do it in the TV show. It occurred to me reading this book. I was like, Baby Jinx is going to call him boss. And I am not going to like that. I don't think, actually. I guess it's not that far off from Matra, right? Or
yeah, but that's a different context.
See, I think when Baby Jinx does it, it's going to be in that context, actually. Probably.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Boss just doesn't sound...
No,
good.
I don't care for it. Especially from the little whatever she is, 16, 18 years old, whatever she is at this point. It's weird. It's weird. I do not care for it. Okay.
It also seems vulgar. It's not vulgar like in like it's filth, like dirty, but I mean like it's like low class. It's a little low class for Lestat, you know, like
monsieur, boss. Even maybe.
I called him like it's like calling him Bud or something, you know, that's weird.
I mean, Master has a different context for us as mortals, but like still, I don't know. I think I like Master even better than Boss. I don't know.
Boss is just...
You know what's weird though? I call my first general manager from radio Boss still. Like when he texts me sometimes, hey boss, how's it going? You know, what you up to or whatever. But he was actually my boss.
Well, I have my good friend Deidre, her friend group, our friend group, that like little branch of friendom calls me Boss Ashley because that's how Deidre and I met. I was her boss for a long time. So
nice.
There's two Ashleys, so I'm Boss Ashley to differentiate.
I thought it was so interesting, and again, I'd forgotten it. Lestat goes straight to Sterling with the Talamasca and tells him everything. He's like, hey, I need help with these ghosts, actually. Which is crazy. Again, when you put it into context of the sequence of it's like when someone explains to you what Darth Vader's week was like from Rogue One to the third Star Wars movie or whatever, or the second Star Wars movie anyway. It's like, I've never heard of this Luke Skywalker kid, and he kills Tarkin and he blows up the Death Star and he, you know.
Yeah, this fucking sandy dickhead.
What? I see my master for the first that I thought was dead for the first time in 20 years, you know. Anyway, this is sort of that moment to me because hey, Lestat, you just had a ghost that you exorcised.
Right.
I mean, now to be fair, you exorcised by your buddy going into the fire forever, but like, I don't know. It's weird to me that he's so shaken up because he sees this ghost and he didn't see Goblin exactly or something, I guess is the difference. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
well,
now
and
it's
he's
real.
like, he's not supposed to. I'm a vampire. I'm not supposed to see ghosts. He even says that to Mona. He's like, you're not going to see ghosts anymore, you know, like.
Yeah.
But he's seen ghosts before. Like he saw that guy and fucking that's how Memnock starts.
Yeah, he saw Dora's father. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. So I don't know exactly why he reacts this way, but I think it ends up being a good thing because it helps also ease the tension that has been existing between the Talamasca and the vampires. Right?
Absolutely.
Like he's making amends here in some ways by reaching out and helping fixing it. He's also so fucking presumptuous, right? Like he gets done telling Sterling what's happening, and then he's like, "Find me a bed, put me in a dark room for the day. I'm just going to stay here." Actually, yeah.
I'm here for the night.
Okay.
He's like, oh, there's a fucking vampire in our house now. Great. And we invited him in.
I was not honestly going to mention the narrator at all, negative or positive. I wasn't loving his Lestat, but I wasn't hating it either until Michael shows up in this book for the first time. Michael Curry, Rowan's husband. And this narrator gave him an Irish accent because Lestat in the text says an Irish New Orleans, meaning this is a low income guy from that time in New Orleans history where he's from the Irish Channel and he's like one of them dock worker fellas, you know, in a hard blue collar family. Hard scrap. He's Anne, basically. Anne comes from the same background that Michael Curry comes from. Michael is a direct insert character for Anne Rice in The Witching Hour, and that's just mentioned in an offhanded way by Lestat because he hears where this kid comes from. He's not a kid; he's an old man at this point. But the narrator goes, "Oh well, he said Irish, so he must have a brogue." And I'm like, this motherfucker was born and raised in New Orleans and lived in San Francisco. Like...
Jesus Christ.
It's not Thomas O'Malley, okay? Like that's not what it is. That's not what's happening. At least it's not like it's not super thick, but he does give him an Irish accent. It's just like, again, there's no editors at any point in this work. It's not just Anne, but the narrator also doesn't get an editor.
He's just in a closet with a old karaoke machine recording.
The last note that I have for this section is there's something wrong with the way ghosts act. I think I don't know who says that. I don't think it's Lestat that says that, but that was right towards the end of this section. And that honestly, I think is going to be the thrust of this book. I think that is going to be the exciting factor is that Lestat has truly crossed Julian in a way that he's not going to let it go.
Yeah.
And because of that, not the undead, the truly dead are now going to have their say with Lestat, which, you know, the living have had their run at him. The deities have had their run at him at this point.
Bring on the ghosts.
Yeah, bring on the ghosts, I guess. Even in spite of the prologue, once the book got rolling, I honestly enjoyed this one quite a bit. I think I'm gonna like where this
I even
goes.
think that like from the start, I mean, I was in trouble. I was very sorry about whatever I had done to our sweet vampire prince. But it had that same sort of feel of like this is going to be more of an adventure kind of thing. Maybe not as heavy. Yes. Maybe not. I don't know, because apparently we've discovered I have not read this.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't recall this one being that heavy of an ending, and I also think that this does have a bit of the flavor of Tale of the Body Thief. In that, it is going to be a fairly straightforward plot-driven novel. It seems like. Yeah. The character development that we see in some of these books where that's like where most Merrick especially was a great example of that. So much of that book is really about just understanding the person of Merrick and understanding the person of David. Right. And then like we've got this much plot at the end of it where Louis gets caught up in a thing, you know?
And then they just fucking kill her.
But this is so different than that. It is weird. Okay. We talked about a little bit last week, and I talked about in one of the interview reactions. There's discussion online about the optics, just literally the optics from an outside perspective of the Interview with the Vampire series, fronted by a black Jacob Anderson, moving to the Vampire Lestat series, fronted by a very white Sam Reed, right? That's the way the books work, but that doesn't change the optics for Hollywood. Now, also in the books, Louis not black to begin with, right? So it doesn't have that thing. Here, though, we do have exactly that thing. We had a threesome. We had Louis, or a foursome, Louis and David and Lestat and Merrick. And now we've got Louis and Mona and Quinn, and I guess he'll get back with Lestat and David eventually down in New Orleans. But like, this is our little threesome now. And it's like he traded a very mixed race Merrick for these two very white bread upper crust. Right. Merrick's from the wrong side of the tracks.
Right.
And
you can tell.
And Quinn and Mona don't know that there are tracks.
Yes, because Quinn's from the big house, we know.
And I mean, Mona has been raised effectively in seclusion, like other than her running around with her cousins, who are all also overly wealthy and protected from the world.
Right.
So it's a weird situation here. But that aside, I do think this is going to be an interesting adventure. And it's one that I have read before, but I do not remember in the way that I normally remember these books. So
yeah,
it'll be fun for both of us.
I'm excited. This is a good start. Those 10 chapters went fast.
Really fast. I think that's the way this whole book, that's why I was like, we only really need 3 episodes, I think, to get through this one, because it's going to be just bang, bang, bang. We will be back at Blood Canticle in 2 weeks. In between here and there, we're going to be talking about Shadow of the Vampire from the year 2000.
Very excited for that.
I'm super excited for this discussion. I just watched the movie the other day, and I really, really liked it a lot. It's a very strange film.
It is excellently weird. I loved it. It was, it was on my radar. It was only on my radar. It's been on my radar since it came out, because I remember him getting an Oscar nomination for that.
Willem Dafoe.
Defoe, yeah. And so I remember that movie coming out and thinking, oh, that's a fucking brilliant idea. Like, I love the idea of that. And I just literally never fucking watched it.
That's great. Okay, awesome. But now I'm super excited to talk about that. All right, so that'll be coming up next week. And then we've got The Howling after Blood Canticle Part 2. Then we'll do Blood Canticle Part 3. And then we'll wrap up this little run with Teen Witch. Also another 80s movie. Straight comedy on that one. Shadow of the Vampire's got a little dark comedy in it.
Yeah.
Teen Witch
my God. Yeah. Teen Witch is silly. Teen Witch is silly. The Howling is really fun. I'm excited. I bet you're gonna be grossed out a couple of times.
This is going to be a great back and forth, though. So you had never seen Shadow of the Vampire. I've never seen The Howling, and probably neither one of us has seen Teen Witch in 25 years. Is my guess.
No, it's been a very long time. Like, not since I thought I was a witch myself because of that movie.
Right. All right. Super excited to get to that next week. Join us then. And if you are in a position to do so, support the show. ArticulateCoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free. Between that ending of Blood Canticle and when Talamasca starts, we're going to have a few special episodes. We'll have a special guest with Rose Sinister.
I'm so excited for that.
I am too. I am too. We're going to do a live stream for my birthday on September 21st, and then we'll have 4 episodes. So it's not finalized yet, but my guess is, based on the poll as we sit recording tonight, the winner is going to be 4 topic episodes for those 4 weeks before Talamasca.
Oh, fun!
And so my thinking there, we'll put up a poll. If you're a patron, you'll get to vote on those. But my thought is, it'll be like, we'll do one Anne Rice biography episode, probably, where we talk about like her life and some of her background and the flow of her writing and how that all worked or whatever, for folks that are kind of new to the fandom but are interested in getting further into that.
That's
I feel like one of them's got to be something like ranking vampires, right? We're going to have to go through these characters and like rank our top 20 characters from the Vampire Chronicles or something.
Oh my gosh.
A tier list, as the kids call it.
I love it.
Like
I love it.
So anyway, we'll have some topics up in a poll on our Patreon. You'll get to vote on those. And then we'll have great episodes between here and Talamasca, premiering October 26th on AMC and AMC Plus.
And then we'll be in New Orleans.
And then we'll be in New Orleans, just like literally we'll be in New Orleans. Okay, one update on that too. This isn't finalized, but here is probably what's going to happen, y'all. I've done a lot of research on an event space for us to be able to do a live recording together. And very frankly, there's not one that's available that's not going to cost us quite a bit of money. And what I really don't want to do is have all of you spend money to get to New Orleans and spend money to stay in New Orleans and spend money to buy the Anne Rice tickets and spend money to pay Rose Sinister's tour and spend money to buy us beer and yourselves.
Hurricanes.
And also then pay to listen to us record. That first of all, it's not like we're not going to sing and dance, y'all. We're going to talk about these books and be silly. So right now, my plan is that Ashley and I, and maybe Brett and Kelly, maybe I'll set it up for the 4 of us all together, but we'll do a live stream probably from my balcony, from my hotel balcony. We're staying in the Quarter, Kelly and I are. And so we'll have an interesting look and we'll set it up and we'll do like, an hour and a half with you guys on Sunday. And the coolest part about that is, even those of you who weren't able to join us in the city, or those of you who have to leave early, you can just get on YouTube on your phone and watch the live stream with us. Yes. So that's my thought right now.
I actually kind of love that.
Maybe somebody's listening to this and you'll have the perfect opportunity to give me some cheap venue and we'll try to change and get together in person. But right now, that's what we're going to do. Sunday afternoon, we'll do a live stream from my balcony after the Anne Rice event and everything. That means that those of you who are waiting for the live call to make your final plans, that's cool, man. Fly out that morning and then watch us on your phone.
That's right.
We'll get together for a couple of like happy hour type things. We'll get together at a bar, the hotel or something like that close. And then we're going to do the live tour with Rose Sinister. Those will be the big events. I'm still looking at, there's another event that I think a lot of us would enjoy, which is the View 360 at the top of the Four Seasons in New Orleans. And I'm going to look at group rates for that. I haven't either. It's fairly new. It's only been there a couple of years, I think, but it's a pretty cool event. And for those of us who have not been to New Orleans very often or never before, I think that would be a great way to get an overview of the city. And also it's got some good historical information on what the city was like at different times through history. So cool stuff there. More information about all of that stuff, the New Orleans information, et cetera, it's in the show notes. So please check all of that out and join us if you can. All right. Until next time. Excuse me. I'm belching all of a sudden. Goodness gracious. Let me clear that out so I don't get a burp in the outro. I'm a professional broadcaster, by God.
Right.
We're doing it live.
We're here for the quality.
Yeah, right. See, now we've made 2 jokes about it. I'm going to have to leave in the burps, I guess. Until the next time we talk to you, we have been your hosts. I am Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven.
Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.